pretty busy morning. Trucks come, loaded up a bunch of logs. Now I'm working the deck, trying to get trying to get us filled back up for next week on the grade logs. It's starting to dry out pretty good. It's still a little slick, a little greasy, but for the most part, it's not too bad. Of course, I parked the skidder right in the way. That's all right, because we can still get around it here in the little Caterpillar. Putting all these logs, I like to face all the ends one direction. The reason I do that, it makes my log buyer's job a lot easier. Makes things go a lot faster. And he can just go right down through there. He knows the lengths, then he can just measure the diameter, get the footage, we're good to go. Come on now. Log almost needs to go to the blocking block. I think we can get by with it putting it in a grade pile though. Weasel through here. Missed that tree, missed the skidder. I was hoping they'd be in here hauling blocking logs today. These big 10-wheeler and pup trucks can get out of here loaded. I don't think the 10-wheeler should have any trouble getting out with a load of blocking. Get right up here. Get these in the road. Normally I don't like to bunch my logs up tight like this, but in this instance where we're short on room, I just about have to, just to try to maximize most of our space. This guy's kind of sticking out, so we'll kind of push him back in. I want these sticking out to where I might hit him with my truck or one of the log trucks hit him. Nice and even. I need to push those a little bit. Come on, you. We'll push those so we can get a little extra room out of them. There we go. Just like so. Go down here and get another bunch. You can kind of see our blocking pile here. Of course, we started on the second row the other day. I could probably come out a little further with this one. Not much, because I want to leave a little bit of room there just for trucks to turn around. Of course, over here is the decking area where I deck these logs and work them up, but you can see here today the tire tracks, the trucks have been up in here to turn around, so I want to leave that little bit to where it's just not so tight they can't get in here at all. And actually, I need to cut these three little guys right here, cut them off at ground level, because I do like to deck some of these pallet logs right over here just to kind of give me a little extra, excuse me, a little extra space. We're just foaming at the mouth wanting to cut that big pecan right back there. And it would be beneficial to us just to have the extra sunlight come in to help dry the deck area a little bit. But it's amazing how much it's dried in here today already. I don't know how many thousands of feet of logs are in this pile here. Like I said, you can see the back side of this is starting to grow pretty good too. These big sycamore back here. This devil here on the small end measured 48 inches. And I'd say this old guy here, he's not a far cry from it. it don't take too many logs like this and you start getting some footage fast. So we actually need to cut that ugly thing right there, that water oak, this water oak back here. The reason why they need to come down is they're starting to show signs of aging and, you know, disease, death. They're dying. They're not healthy trees. So rather than just let them stand there and go to waste, we might as well get something out of them now and bring them down. You can even see like this big sycamore here. It was on the downhill slide. And honestly, that thing was a lot better than I thought it'd be, if that's the tree I'm thinking of. I think it is. I think that's the tree I'm thinking of. This water oak, it's cutting pretty good. It's a shame that's not a little clear. I was hoping some of this stuff would cut pretty good. We could sell it for grade, but it's just nasty old pallet stuff. Of course, stuff like that there, they get what they can out of it on the blocking and they chip the rest of it. There's some of these guys that got chipping operations going at their mill. So yeah, pretty good bunch of logs there. Of course, it don't take much to grow that pile of that stuff. I'd kind of like to, of course, it's kind of a catch-22. I like seeing how much of that stuff we can pile up, but at the same time, like right now, we need to be moving it because we've already got our money in it and cutting it and getting it out and, you know, stacking it. So I'd like to recoup our losses on it and get our money out of it. But at the same time, I'd like to see 2 big windrows of that stuff piled up. Maybe start on a 3rd right there. Cut that nasty old snag, get something out of it. So yeah, it's a fun game to play, to try to stay ahead of yourself and try to keep pushing yourself to get more production. I will say that. Another thing before we sign off today, I just want to say a big thank you to Casey and all the guys up there at TimberPro. You guys that follow TimberPro forestry equipment on social outlets, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube. They got an awesome YouTube channel too. As far as I'm concerned, I think they are the world's leader in innovation and technology design when it comes to their forestry equipment. I think that they're the type of guys that they're still loggers and they still value the opinions of loggers. I think TimberPro does, just like how they work with TimberPro Joe up there in New Hampshire. You know, he's done so much to come along, you know, to help design the new D-series bunchers they're doing. And of course, Joe, he's really been a good friend of Logger Threads, and so is TimberPro. They've both. It's been great, you know, kind of the brotherhood that comes together with all of us loggers. But Joe and TimberPro, and of course Joe goes by TimberPro Joe, but those guys have been great. What they've helped us with Logger Threads by help getting our name out there. And of course, if you check our socials today, like with Logger Threads, this morning we woke up to TimberPro, you know, giving us a shout out. And of course, Joe was out there with the new 745 D series buncher, wearing the Brotherhood in blue. So it's awesome to see what those guys, they do so much to help us out, and I love to give them praise when I can. But seriously, I try to stay pretty in tune with forestry equipment. I always have ever since I was a kid. It's just, even a lot of the stuff that we don't use and I don't run, I like to read up on it. I like to know what's going on, who's doing what. But I do think the great thing about TimberPro is I think that those guys, and I'm not trying to trash talk deer or cat because, you know, I'm running both of them right here. But I think TimberPro is still for the little guy, because I think they listen to like us loggers a lot more than cat and deer do. And I think the great thing about that is they can listen to kind of what our needs are and what we're looking for as loggers and equipment. And it's not that, you know, the big guys here don't either, but, you know, TimberPro is a family-owned company, and I really do think they're leading the way in innovation and design. And I think all that comes together with extreme dedication they do to always better their equipment, to always look to upgrade their equipment, more features, better for the logger, more productivity, just everything. If you don't follow TimberPro's equipment, and like me, the odds of us ever owning a TimberPro anything, whether it be the skidder, the forwarder, or the buncher, are slim to none, because that's not the type of logging we do down here in Southwest Missouri. I would like to tell you someday I will have stuff like that, but I doubt I ever do. But I've been extended an invite to tour their facility this fall when we go to a trade show up in Wisconsin, I think it is. And I'm extremely happy to go by and tour the facilities there. I'm really looking forward to that. anytime I get a chance to tour a sawmill or forestry equipment, manufacturing facilities, I am all for it. I think it's the most coolest thing in the world, and to me, it's just like I'm still like a pup kid, you know, playing on the floor with my logging toys. I kind of feel that way, but I'm getting invited to go see these big manufacturing facilities where they actually build the stuff, and that's just awesome. So, like I said, I can't thank those guys enough for all they've done for Logger Threads, because they've really helped get our name and our brand out there even more. We ship orders all over the world on a weekly basis with Logger Threads now. It's amazing how fast we've grown. And we haven't even been out 2 years. We started December of 16, when Logger Threads started. That's when I got the crazy idea to start Logger Threads. And in less than 2 years, I'm amazed with how far we've come and what all we've done with it. And I can't wait. I mean, every week it's just, you know, every time that I get a little notification on my phone, every time we get an order comes through, and I'm always so excited to see where those orders are going, who's ordering what. It's awesome. And it's amazing the outpour and support we get from people that send us messages telling us how much they love the apparel and how comfortable it is, and how they're always excited about the new designs we're working on, because we do. I work with graphic designers on the West Coast, and I'm not much of a drawer at all, but I'll kind of doodle out some designs, what I've got in my mind, the ideas I have, and those guys can bring those things to life, and that's where you get the imagery for like the harvester, the tree hugger, the brotherhood. You know, those are the guys behind all that. We've got a couple designs we're working on right now I'm really, really excited for. Like I said, I know I've been talking about it a little bit, but I don't want to say too much, just let the cat out of the bag. But I think you guys will really like it, if you guys that wear the Logger Threads apparel that watch our channel here. And if you don't wear the Logger Threads apparel, shame on you, shame on you. All American-made stuff. None of that overseas stuff. We ain't got to worry about that trade, tariff-type crap. We're sticking all American-made. You know what? I don't care if it is a little bit more. We're still sticking with American. F that. We're staying American-made. I'm going to support American companies. I'm not doing that overseas trying to save a nickel stuff. That's not what we're about. We're here to support American workers and American people. So when you buy Logger Threads, just know you're supporting American companies like ourselves here, Turner Logging, Timber Dynamics, Timber Tracker, and Logger Threads, and you're supporting great veteran-owned companies like who I deal with my print shop out in California. You know, those guys are awesome. A lot of your big-name apparel stuff that I wear, they're the same print shop that does that. Forge Clothing, Rogue American Apparel, 30 Seconds Out, a lot of veteran-owned companies, Zero Foxtrot, clothes that I've been wearing for several years, and I was lucky enough to get hooked up with them and start Logger Threads. So if you haven't checked out the Logger Threads apparel line, definitely give it a look. And if you wear any of that other stuff, then you're getting the same type of material, same type of high-quality stuff. So check that out, guys. I'm going to get home. I've actually got some phone calls to make today. I've got to make a call to Caterpillar about some things. But, you know, walnut season's right around the corner. The big startup of it. I actually looked at a really good job of walnut not far from here yesterday. And I'm going to try like heck to get it, because it was a good track of timber and we're close. And I'd like to bring our other skidder in and just have 2 skidders going up here. So let's cross our fingers, wish us luck, because I'm gonna go after it pretty hard. Somebody's already looked at it, made an offer, but I'm gonna come in guns blazing. We're gonna try to get that stuff because there's some pretty good trees. Guys, thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you out here tomorrow. We're gonna really try to lay some timber in tomorrow. I really want to try to get this deck area filled back up with grade logs, and I want to work on that blocking pile a lot. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have a good high production day. We got several trees on the ground, several good ones to cut. So tomorrow's the day. Guys, enjoy it. We'll see you later. Thank you.